I have a friend at work who seems to be always stressed. Doesn't matter what they're doing, they just have this intense look about them, or they're super tired. And then sadly, they make these really horrible choices. And more recently, though, I've seen them smiling and they're eating healthier, they're making jokes, they're just seem to be enjoying life a little bit more. They've even come to stretching time that I do at work every day. And so I've thought, they're actually glowing, and I've observed them, and I thought to myself, something clearly has changed. So in light conversation, I just started asking them about how they're doing, and but with a little bit more intention than I normally do, because I hate those four-letter words. I hate nice, fine, okay, good. And so I try to ask about people's highs and lows of the week, and just get them beyond the day to day. And so they sadly shared with me that they had a loss of a parent and they were done with this relationship, and it all, I guess, happened within a short period of time. And so the old gears in my head start cranking away, and it kind of dawned on me that maybe the relationships that they had in their life were problematic. So I pried a little bit, and of course I did it respectfully, because if they're not feeling like sharing, last thing I want to do is kind of mess up their better rapport. But at the same time, I also am a little bit worried that they've had this disposition for some time and then all of a sudden snapped out of it. Sometimes it can be really wonderful, but at other times it could be a super red flag, because most of the time when you're coming out of a troublesome situation, you've had something happen to you for some time, or you've kind of had a linear emotion for a long time, and then you shift gears, that also could mean that you're about to break. So as I pried and started, getting responsive answers to the questions, they were more or less defending and praising their ex and their parent. But as the questions got deeper and the conversation was going well, and we were going back and forth, and I was sharing some of my hurts and pains in the past, the screws started to come loose. And inevitably, they started to share their relief of not having this parent in their life anymore, and the hurts and pains, as well as their guilt because of the hurts and pains that they're receiving via their parent, as well as this relationship. And so I was thankful that we went down this road and we had this time to conversate, because I also got to air my own frustrations out from the past. And every time you kind of do that, unless you've done it way too often, you release something, just that last little bit, maybe at the bottom of the pot, you're kind of scraping out, when you're cleaning a pot and you're trying to get that last, hard to get place that has been kind of caked or burnt in. That sometimes happens in our hearts and our souls. And that's what's good about having good conversation with people. But, from their perspective, because they were sharing all this relief and this guilt, it was a lot from the process. And I just told them it was okay. It was a part of life. It's normal, especially if you've never really noticed it, or you knew in the back of your mind that it was problematic, but you just kept on moving forward with it, whether or not it was quote unquote the right thing to do. So, after I shared that, I could see some sense of relief on them, but this is just the beginning steps. And, it's just one of those things where it's going to take time, and we need to really be there for people and get the fixes and the healing we need, so that we can do that for other people. And I just kind of wonder to myself, how much happier we would be, or how much more joy we would have, or how much do people actually realize that stress is destroying their mental capabilities, capacities. It's tampering with their emotions, their spiritual life, their physical, even their financial. And if we could get rid of at least some of these stressors, how wonderful our lives could actually be, especially in God's kingdom.